Hello, Fierce Mama Warriors. This is your relaxation video for the third trimester. Now, in the third trimester, we are preparing for the birth. And one of the best things you can do to prepare for birth is get the body really relaxed. We are also going to be doing an inversion to help the baby into the best position for birth. And we are going to be doing a guided meditation at the end. So I want you to feel prepared for the birth. I want your back to feel awesome, and I want you to feel relaxed. So do whatever you need to do to get your environment to be relaxing, whether it's some pampering essential oils or your favorite chill music, candles. Change into something super comfortable and grab a mat. And you're also going to need a pillow. And for the inversion, you're going to need either a couch, the side of the bed, or a chair, okay? The first thing we're going to go over is how to get down to the floor safely while you're pregnant, and you can use this technique also for the postpartum period. So the first thing we're gonna do is get our feet under our hips, and then we're just gonna take one leg, doesn't matter which, lunge it back, coming onto that knee, bringing our other knee under us, then we can just sit back onto our heels. Great, so come into a cross-legged position. You can have a pillow under you for comfort if you need. And we're gonna start with a breathing technique that is absolutely wonderful for your core and pelvic floor. The first thing we're going to do is place one hand on the lower belly, on the baby, one hand on the lower rib cage. Now I'd like you to try and inhale in such a way that this bottom hand is going to expand out. And they're also going to feel the breath up here in this hand. So this hand's going to expand just slightly. And I want you to make sure that your rib cage is aligned right over your pelvis. Okay, and your head is right over your heart. So one hand on the lower belly, one hand on the lower rib cage. Release the abdomen. Breathe in such a way that this hand lifts and expands into the lower rib cage. Beautiful. Again. Awesome. Now as we inhale, I want you to focus on releasing and relaxing the pelvic floor. So you might want to imagine a rose blooming or a sea anemone opening, okay? Again, breathing in such a way that you're lifting this hand, opening the pelvic floor. Great. And now we're going to add a pelvic floor contraction. So I want you to pretend that you are trying to use the vagina and the anus to pick a tissue up out of a tissue box. So close and pull, okay? I'm gonna do that pelvic floor contraction on the exhale. Inhales, we're still focused on opening the pelvic floor. So inhale, release the pelvic floor, relax. Exhale, pull it up and in. Inhale, release. Exhale, up and in. Let's do about 4 more like that. So inhale's lifting that hand, releasing the pelvic floor. Exhale, up and in. All the way to the very end of the exhale. That's 1. Again. And exhale. You don't have to close your eyes for this, but I feel relaxed enough to close my eyes. Inhale. Exhale, contract. Let's do one more good one together. Inhale, really releasing, letting it go fully. And exhale, pull it up and in. Beautiful. Okay, now we are going to bring the soles of our feet together. And we're gonna sit up nice and tall Feeling a nice, feeling really good in our spine here. Letting the lower abdomen release, still breathing like that. Good, and now we're just going to slowly start to make circles with our upper body. Bring our heart toward our toes, and then back. Here we're going to open the chest. And here we're going to round the spine. Inhale as we come forward, and exhale as we come back. Inhale forward, exhale back. And let's switch directions. Coming all the way toward the knee. Open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, rounding the shoulders and the spine. Let your breath be the leader of the pace here. Sort of catching a wave of your breath. Exhaling, come back. Let's do 2 more big circles. Beautiful. Now we're going to stretch the lower back as we give the baby a nice rhythmic rocking motion. So bringing one arm down to the mat and reaching over with the other. Inhale, switch. Exhale, over. And we're just going to sort of rock like this. Rocking on the pelvis. And every time we dip, it's on an exhale. Again, letting the breath be the leader here of the pace. Baby just loves this rhythmic rocking. So you're doing something wonderful for yourself and for your baby. Do one more. Beautiful. Okay, we can take the pillow out from under us and gently come onto all fours. So hands, wrists are going to be right under the shoulders and knees are going to be right under the hips. I'm going to do some cat-cow here. So dropping the belly button toward the mat, looking up. Inhale. Exhale. Spine toward the ceiling, letting the head and neck release. Let's do about 4 more here because they feel so good. And another rhythmic rocking in the amniotic fluid. Do one more. Inhale, belly button down, hips back. Exhale, spine to ceiling, head and neck release. Beautiful. Okay, come to flat back here. And we are going to get a great upper back stretch. Delicious stretch here by just taking one hand. So let's start with the left hand. And I'm going to thread it through this nice square here, bringing this elbow toward the ceiling. And I'm going to come all the way down onto my left shoulder. Do it with me here, resting my head on the mat. I'm just going to breathe deeply here. Feeling a nice stretch in that upper back. If you want to reach a little bit further to get a deeper stretch, you can, but be careful that you're still feeling good and feeling awesome the whole time. Still able to breathe deeply and fluidly. One more breath cycle here. Awesome. Coming up out of it gently. We're going to take it to the other side. So taking the other hand and threading it through this square,
Bringing the elbow up to the ceiling and resting onto the head and shoulder. Take some nice, big, deep breaths here. One more. Beautiful. Hopefully that feels delicious for you. Gently coming up out of it. We are going to bring our toes together and back and spread our knees as wide as our mat, sending our hips as far back as we can, and then gently walking on our hands, sending the forehead all the way to the mat. And here I'd like you to really trust the gravity of the earth and allow yourself to sink down onto the earth. You can imagine even that you're sinking into the earth. Really trust that base, that support. And now I'd like you to breathe in such a way that your lower belly is expanding, just like we were doing. And if you can, also your lower back. So that whole circumference of your lower body is expanding as you inhale. And then slow exhale, melting down on the exhales, letting it go. Let's do 2 more breath cycles here. Beautiful. When you're ready, we're going to bring our hands under our shoulders. Without lifting our head quite yet, we're going to gently push ourselves up. And now from here, I'd like you to try and come into a deep squat. So I'm on my toes here. My heels are turned in slightly, if you can see that. And you can either grab, hold support of something if you have a TRX or a sheet that you want to throw over a door. It's great to be supported here. Otherwise, we can just take our elbows here and pushing our knees out, pressing our hands together. Straight spinal cord. And here I invite you to rock with me if you'd like. And as we're here, we're going to really focus on releasing and relaxing the pelvic floor. Because as we prepare for birth, the function of the pelvic floor needs to change. Until now it was holding the baby in, and now it needs to let it go pretty soon. So we are going to inhale and imagine that flower blooming or that sea anemone opening. Beautiful. Okay, bring our hands down, knees under us. Come into this kneeling position. And to come up, we are just going to take one leg and lunge up out of it. And now we are going to do the inversion. So the inversion is an incredible technique approved by doulas everywhere that just gets the baby into a wonderful position for the birth. Bring it down towards the pelvis. It can also sometimes help flip the baby into the right position if that's what you need. And it aligns the uterus with the pelvis. So that's really what we want. If you have something like some counterindication to this, like glaucoma, heartburn, and excess of amniotic fluid, then this might not be for you. I would definitely check with your doctor, but otherwise it's a wonderful technique. So I'm gonna do this on my couch. You can use a chair or anything else. We're gonna start in a kneeling position with our heels tucked under us. And then we are going to come to a tall kneeling. From here, we're going to bring ourselves to the ground. So this might be a little scary, but I want you to just trust that your hands are there, okay? The floor is there to catch you, and it's gonna be okay. Okay, so we are going to slowly bring ourselves down using our hands. And then gently, we're gonna bring ourselves to our forearms. We're not gonna rest our head, but our head and neck are just gonna dangle here. And we are going to breathe and stay here for 30 seconds. It's okay if you feel some blood rushing to your head. Big deep breaths. It's 10 more seconds. Okay, now the magic happens. We are going to come from here back into the tall kneeling position. So our hips are not going to be on our heels. Bring yourself back onto your hands and then pushing yourself up to that tall kneeling. And we're going to stay here for 20 seconds with our rib cage aligned right over our hips. Breathing deep. Wonderful. Okay, and it's recommended to do that at least once a day during the third trimester, but whenever you feel like you can do it, it's a great way to prepare for the birth. Okay, so now we are going to come back down onto our mats with that lunge, bringing the other leg under us, coming to kneeling, hips on heels. And then so we don't strain our core, we're going to use our upper body strength to come into a side lying position. And grab your pillow to place in between your knees for back support. It's beautiful. Bring your hands wherever is comfortable for you. If you'd like to place one hand on your baby for now, we're going to be, and one hand on your heart, we're going to be sending some love and some oxygen to the baby. So as we inhale, we can focus on sending oxygen to the baby, focus on connecting the baby to our heartbeat, which is what is keeping it alive. Sending the love from the heart to the uterus. And now you could just let your hands relax. Place them wherever is comfortable for you. Okay, and we're gonna start by just, again, feeling that support system under us, the floor, allowing ourselves to sink down into it. Noticing our breath, listening to the sound of our breath. You don't need to breathe in any special way here, just noticing it. Okay, now we're going to start to focus on the toes. All the muscles that are in the toes. And I want you to just see if there's any tension in the toes. Just let it go. Into the arches of the feet now. We're on our feet so much of the day. We use our feet for so many tasks. So any tension that's in the arches of the feet, just release it. Now into the bottom half of the legs, calves. Just letting that tension go. Letting those muscles relax. Into the upper half of the legs. quads, the hamstrings. Any tension there, just let it release. Now into the pelvis. So the glutes that we use for so many things during the day. Sitting and standing. And the pelvic floor. Visualizing again that sea anemone opening. Just letting it completely relax. Into the stomach and the lower back. So any tension we're holding on to in that area, just let it release. Let it melt away into the floor. Into the chest and the upper back. Finding any tension and just letting it go. Completely relaxing those areas. Now into the shoulders. We often carry a lot of tension on our shoulders, so just let them completely relax. Into the upper part of the arms. Biceps and triceps, all those muscles. Just let them completely relax. Now into the upper half of the arms. Just letting that completely go. Into the hands and fingers that we use for so many things throughout the day. All those muscles in the hands and the fingers, just let them release, let them relax. Now into the neck. Any tension we're holding on to in the neck. On an exhale, just let it leave the body. Neck is totally relaxed. Into the jaw. Noticing any clenching, any tension. Just let the jaw completely drop, completely relax. Now into the eyes. Try and imagine the eyes are gently coming toward the back of the head. So any tension behind the eyes and the forehead, let it release. Now the head itself, letting it completely melt into the mat. Into your shoulder. The whole body from toes to top of the head, the fingertips. Should feel heavy. Should feel completely relaxed. I invite you to stay here, breathing quietly for as long as you need to, as long as you have. Just be with this moment of quiet, this moment of committing to relaxing, committing to be in the here and now. Leaving the to-do list on the side. And when you're ready, we're going to use our upper body strength to come back to a kneeling position, into the tall kneeling, into the lunge. That's how we get up safely, and I am just wishing you the most beautiful, most powerful birth experience, and just sending you all